welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So today's a special video because I am highlighting my time on this BookTube situation, which I started on June 30th 2017. So I'm recording this video exactly the same date, but we are 7 years down the road, and I wanted to talk about different things, and I requested a Q&A because I haven't done one in a while for this channel. And this channel has been such a joy, and it's also been my creative space, and I get to really share my love of books, journaling, as well as my craft, which includes sewing or anything I want to build pretty much. And so I wanted to have a Q&A to just like, you guys ask me anything, and there's a few people who put some questions. So I have 10 questions that I'm going to be answering, and it is going to be summing up everything about this channel. So I have gotten quite a few people on this channel, especially since I started doing the shorts, and I think some people are not sure what my channel is about. And just so you are clear, I do not have one niche. I love books. I talk about books all the time, but I also love to journal, and I run a challenge every couple of months, which is a journal mood. And I share my love of making junk journal and using them in ways to basically have some self-care for myself and to encourage other people to do the same. I also started sewing on this channel. You guys saw the first time I started sewing on this channel. I started here, and it's been about 3 years, almost 3 years actually. But we're gonna dig into that as I answer these questions. So my journal, I have the questions down, and Barbara Barnes 7184, so I'll put her name here, and it said, why is reading so important to you? That is one part of the question. And the reason why is it started out as entertainment. I wanted to be entertained. I wanted books that was going to make me smile, have me enlightened, learn something new, and also how I interact with other people. As somebody who's an introvert, sometimes you shy away from hanging out with too many people or not understanding people's action. And I think books sometimes make me see things that I missed or not really paid attention to with my experience with other people. And I love that. I learned that. I love history, learn about the past and how even the past influenced the now. And I love just a good laugh, a good smile, a good feel-good moment, especially if I'm going through high stress period. A book would bring that to me, and that's why I love books. I love reading. Second part to her thing was, are you planning on getting another dog? Yes. I recently had 2 puppies. Photos were just emailed to me by my friend, or text message to me. And I was interested because I wanted 2 small dogs. I don't want any dog that's too big, as big as my previous dog, because it was not ideal, my space. And also, I don't want to have a single dog anymore. I might get 1 dog first just to get trained and get used to before I introduce a second dog. But I always felt like when I had Abby that I felt like she needed a companion with another dog. And so I know the next time I get dog, it won't be a dog, it'll be 2 dogs. But I want them small and easy to manage, and goes with my lifestyle, which is challenging for me because my work schedule, as well as the fact that I am still not okay with Abby's passing. She's passed about 2 years, and I still have her ashes in the corner in the same container, the bag, everything that they gave it to me. I've yet to look into it. I don't know what it looks like inside it. I hope to get to that period one day where I can actually do what I intended to do, which was to go on a nice hike and to release her ash, and I have not done that yet. So I think in my mind I'm ready, but at the same time, it's painful losing a dog. I never knew that kind of pain existed, but it's very painful. So, but I do plan on getting another dog. All right. Now, Creative Bria, and she now asks, what are your current journaling favorites? And it changes because with my craft, I get tired of something and I want to do something else. And so I've been playing around with the fact that I've had this pen for maybe 2 years, and I went back to using it on the regular, and I did not realize how much I absolutely love how this pen writes. It's full of ink right now. But I have been using this one a lot recently, but it changes because the next minute I will want to use my glass. I would want to use my feather, and I also love this feather pen, which I just love looking at it. I don't even use it as much, but I just love looking at it. It just gives me old vintage classic, feather pen, and it's a dip pen, and I also love this one as well. My highlighters have been a thing for me lately, and I've been loving using these. They're the double head, and I don't really use the bottom ones that often, but it's a really good highlight. And what I love about these, they don't bleed. I think almost any paper can handle these highlighter versus some of the other ones I have. They will bleed through the pages, but this one doesn't bleed. And of course, I love this brush. I use this a lot when I'm doing stencils, and this one works really well. I have 3 different sides, but I always grab this one. All right, and of course my junk journals, guys. I'm currently using this one, and I love it. And it travels well, and it's holding up so well. I packed these with a lot of pages, and I realized that I was like, I packed a lot of pages this time around, but it might last me a little longer than 3 months. We'll see. So that's what I feel about that. The best you've read because of BookTube. This one was hard because I've read over, I think at this point I'm almost 600 books that I've read because of this channel. More than 600 books actually. And so I'm going to highlight about 4, and they're for different reasons. And so one, Crubathon started in 2020, and Crubathon actually makes me dig and try to find Caribbean authors that are new to me, or I've heard of them and never picked up a book from the author, or for various reasons, I love the journey with that. And one, the author that I did not read until book of Caribbean, which is a shame on me because she's well known in the Caribbean, and that is Jamaica Kincaid. And I read Lucy last year, and it's still one of those books that has impacted how I feel about certain things. This was a personal read. This was a journey with myself with this book. I've read it twice, and I felt the same way. I got very emotional with this book, and I think sometimes when I think of the books that I've experienced on this channel, it really digs into things that I thought I was healing from or was healed from, and it stirred emotions and bring me back to places that I needed to be. I needed to venture back into that thoughts of certain things, and this book did this for me. I loved it, and I would definitely read it again. It's one of those special reads and special books that is on my bookshelf. The next book, it was a recommendation. It was one of those, the jar. I started the subscriber jar a year ago. I started January of last year of 2023, and every month I pick a book that you guys suggested. And this book I think was one of those books where the person who requested it got me, and that was by her own design. And this is Anne Lowe's fashion design for the Social Register, and I love this because it's just it encouraged me when it comes to the sewing world, and learn how to make stuff for myself. And I will go back to this question that somebody else asked me that sums up why the sewing is so important to me. But this book, I really enjoy this book. I learned so much about her drive, her ambition, and the things that she do, whether or not some things where she could have done better. But it was like a very good book that I really appreciate that someone was like, you should read this, and they were right. Then we have a book that I still find that I enjoy this book. I have not read anything else from this author, and I need to because his work is raved about. So I know I need to. But let's talk about The Last Thing You Surrender, Leonard Pitt Jr. Now, this was one of the books that was selected by Dee Dee for Brown Girl Reading for Black History Month. And this is a book that really had me like loving the adventure a book puts you on, the adventure of this epic story, and making you want to turn the pages and making you want to discuss it with other people and talk about it with other people. And that's one of the things I love too about this, being able to read and have other people read a book that you read, whether they liked it or not, but have an opinion that you can like discuss and talk about. That's always a perk when I'm reading a book and sharing it on this channel, because who else am I going to share it? Most of my friends are not readers, so it's very hard for me to actually like read a book and not have some feedback and somebody else saying something about it. It's just a joy for that reason, and this was one of those that I felt like Dee Dee got this right. This was very good. It was a 5-star read. Absolutely love it. Then we're going to talk about classic. Now on this channel I was able to explore classic, and I've never really been into classic on this heavy level until I started this channel, where I was reading. I remember when going from maybe reading two classic per year, so now I'm reading tons. Like, you know, some years I get up to 18, 19 books, and that was because I had an audience. I had other people that enjoy classics too, so I would love talking about it. And we're going to talk about the Dickens, and I read 9 total Dickens, and 8 of them I read on this channel. And the first Dickens I read was A Tale of Two Cities, and I remember just wanting to throw that book and how I felt about that book, and to know that I went back and absolutely love. And one of my favorites is Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens, and I love that I'm able to talk about these classic, and there's people who would chime in, and there's people who normally don't read classic but will pick it up, and I get so much joy out of classic that I appreciate now than when I was younger and being forced to read them. It's something about it that's just more entertaining and makes me laugh and makes me find ways to even think about the storyline in a time period that, you know, exists way beyond my years. And I love that. And Dickens was that author for me that I've read the most classic from. Also the Harlem Renaissance, which are behind me. I also started reading the Harlem Renaissance on this channel, and I have a nice selection behind me. That's how much I think these books are so special, and I one day want to say I've read every single book from the Harlem Renaissance. Not there yet, but hope to get there soon. All right, the next one is the best book you've read this year. I don't have I did not get down to that yet. I do want to do the free card tag, and I think I will go over it at some point. But you know, if I flip through, we're gonna say, well, for sure, the Curbathon book. Why am I getting a blank? Hold on. Let's get it together. The Island of Forgetting. 5-star. Absolutely love that one. Fire in the Flint. That is a Harlem Renaissance. Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. Absolutely phenomenal book. Love that one. That's the only ones that's popping in my head right now, that I would say, like, I'm still thinking about the book after reading it. Oh, Christina C. Jones romance, guys. Christina C. Jones romance. Let me tell you, I am a Christina C. Jones fan now. I am. So we'll have a tag for that where I could really sit down and talk about the books I've read this year so far. What's your dream outfit? The one you've loved to make one day, but maybe complicated. My dream outfit. Now, it used to be a suit, but now I know how to make a suit. I haven't perfected it 100%, but I know to make it. But I have yet to make a proper bustier. Well, I haven't made any actually, what proper or not. I want to make a bustier that is going to fit my boobs. I'm large chested, as you can see, and I am scared to death of making a bustier that actually fits me perfectly, supports me, and is going to look really nice in a flowing dress. And that is my mission one day, is to get to the point where I can start working on that. And I do know there's particular one influencer that is large chested than me, and she makes a tons of those. She does a lot of cosplay, so I need to learn her skills and how to do a proper measurement for myself and make one. So it's possible, because it's possible, but that is literally the only thing that I haven't really mastered. All right, so let's go to Brown Girl Reading and questions from her. And it said, name your favorite fashion house and why. Let me pronounce it right. It's Saint Laurent. And that is classic. If I can afford the fabrics, and I do mean if I can really afford the fabrics that it costs to make a lot of classic vintage 1950s like dress. Let me show y'all something. I got this for my birthday last year. My friend gave this to me, and this is something, there's so many things in this that go through a series of decades. And Edith was this, Edith Head is really a costume Hollywood designer. But when I see a lot of her silhouette, it just reminds me of Yves Saint Laurent in terms of the long flowing dress, the way the silhouette of the fabric fits the body. I want like all of this. All of this. I want all of this. I want it, but with his pattern, if that makes sense. But a lot of the things that I love about his thing is it's the fabric, guys. And sewing, you learn how the fabric matters and how much an outfit, you can take an outfit from the most basic to like up there just based on the fabric. But it's expensive. It is expensive, okay? Some of these fabric are expensive, and to even dig in and even I have fabrics that I have yet to cut into because I'm scared. Like if I make a mistake, it is to know how much I paid a yard for this fabric. But that is my favorite fashion house. I think it's just very ladylike. It's very timeless, and it's not too much in your face. It's not very trendy as well. I think he just sticks to a lot of classic stuff that I feel you buy it, you can wear it 20 years from now without it feeling like a trend. Yeah. All right. How old were you when you learned to read? I don't remember. And the reason why I don't remember, because it wasn't significant. It sounds sad saying that, but I was not a reader when I was younger. So reading became like I have to, because I have to read a book because of a class. I have to read a summer reading list because I have to write a book report on it. So maybe first, second grade. That's far as I can think of books that I've read and had to read because of, English class. I didn't love reading until I was an adult, until I was in college. And I started reading, Terry McMillan, and which I really loved her books. I used to read a lot of her books. And I had the period of time where I loved urban fiction. I was reading those urban fiction like it was nothing. Knowing I got class in the morning, up 3 o'clock in the morning, reading those urban fiction. And so I would say I really fell in love with reading when I was around 18, 19. Yeah. So I was a late person in the reading, the joy of reading. I do get jealous when people tell me how, oh yeah, when I was this grade, I used to love, and I'm like, not me. Not me. How did you get into sewing? So, interesting facts. I think I spoke to you guys about this before. My first career that I wanted to be when I was around 8. When I was 8, I fell in love with a show called Fashion File, and I remember wanting to be a fashion designer. That was the thing. If you asked me at 8 years old, what did you want to be? It was a fashion designer. And I was so like wanted to sew, and I used to make clothes for my doll. Had 2 people around me who were seamstress, and so they always had machines, and I would play around and learn basic stuff on the machine. But most of the time it was needle and thread in my hand. I was hand sewing, and I was enjoying my dolls for that reason. Not dolls because I want to play with my dolls because I wanted to dress my dolls. I was that person. And then when I think I was around 13, and I started not having the shape of what you would call the model shape. And I don't know why I thought that was an issue. And I think when I had a discussion with my mother when I started sewing again in the last 3 years, and I remember saying that, and she said, had I said that to her, she would have bought me my own machine. But I think everything happens for a reason, and I needed to go to another path. Maybe I would have been back then. I used to sketch when I thought I could sketch and draw things I wanted to make, and I don't know what that book is. But I wanted to sew then. I did not pick up any sewing from the age of 13 until 2021. September 2021 was the first time that I picked up a sewing machine. I bought my own, and I wanted to see if I would have the love for it, and I still do. And that goes into the next question. What was the first outfit you made? I made a skirt. So this is my sewing junk journal. And if you can see, I started out where I talk about my joy, pure joy of getting my first sewing machine. And I made this skirt. You probably won't see it that well, so I'll probably pop a picture up. But I made that skirt. It was no pattern. Absolutely no pattern. It was my own. I just sat down. I was so excited to sew something that I cut it out. And it came out really good. That was my first time. It didn't have a pocket because I didn't know to make pockets yet. Now I'm like a pocket pro. But at the time I didn't. And I remember just making it and wearing it in a video that I did for you guys. I think it was maybe, I'm not sure what video I did with this, but I did a video with it on here. And this was September 2021. So yeah. And of course it just kept going, and I was making skirts, and I did make my first pants, and I highlighted all in here. Maybe I'm thinking one day I'll do a flip through because I'm heavy in here. Like I'm about to finish the second signature, so maybe I'll do a flip through of the first signature just so you can get an idea of things that I've made over the years and how I've improved a lot. But I love the journey, and I started on here. It's another moment for me where I had my first experience with something I enjoy, and I started on this channel. I showed you guys when I got the sewing machine and what I made. I also made my birthday skirt that year, and then that was the first year I started making my own outfit for my birthday, and I've done it every year since. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do this year yet, but you know, it's coming. But I started on here, and I love the feedback. I love that now I got a little niche where I started the Wear What I Made series, which makes me wear them. I think in the beginning I felt some kind of way about some stuff that I made, like are people gonna know this is handmade, that kind of deal. But I'm far past that now. I wear my stuff. I love the compliments I get, and I feel confident in what I make now. So yeah, it started on here. 3 years that I made my own clothes. And then the last question is, what made you want to start BookTube? So going back to the blog, I started my blog at January 2016, and when I started my blog, it was a lot of book reviews that I used to do. I had a Wednesday series on my blog where every single Wednesday I had a written review about a book that I've read. And what happened was I had a lot of comments of people saying that I should do BookTube, but I wasn't sure how I would feel to be in front of a camera and be myself. And you guys could see in the very beginning, I was not myself. I felt like I needed to be a certain way in front of the camera. And it took a couple of videos for me to be like, no, I'm going to be myself. You're either going to be supportive or not. And but that person, I don't remember who was the person at the time. I hope they're still following this channel, but they said you should start, and I thought about it, and I jumped in on January 30th 2017, which was a year and a half later. I did my first book. Now consequently, you know, the blog suffered a little because it's a little easier just to jump in front of the camera and just spew whatever you want versus writing a review and write in a way where, you know, your review, no spoilers, but also make it where it makes sense of why you should read the book or why you didn't like a book, that kind of deal. But I want to still do that again. I want to get back. There's some books I feel like writing it will be better. Also, I like the records of it. I don't do a lot of blog posts like I normally would back then. But there's a lot of traffic on my blog still because of those book reviews that I used to do. A lot of time when I look at and see where people actually headed, and it's one of those written reviews that I've done on a book that they recently pick up, and I guess the algorithm, the somehow Google land them over to my site, which I appreciate, because sometimes I'm like, am my blog really dead? And it's surprisingly not dead. People are on there reading these old reviews, and I've done probably maybe 200 something written reviews on there, and it's nice to see that over there. Also, my series of Confession Chronicle was a nice traffic in over there as well. Where sometimes I talk about a book. I think I did a post of what the book made me do, or I've had it's a couple of two. I should post them. I should put a link in here for those. They're kind of entertaining, and but yeah, it started from the blog. I saw my blog will always be special to me because it led me to this channel, and that's it, guys. So, you know, if you have any 2 cents you want to add or questions you want to add that I did not answer, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. And I want to say thank you so much for supporting this channel. I know some people are new here, and you know, this is it's a variety show, and I will not change that. And I think there's like 2 people who let me know that they're no longer going to be subscribing to me because they thought it was just book, and it's not just book. And I can respect if you are not interested in anything else but books, and that's okay. But I will not be just doing books on here. Books is my first love, but I love my craft as well. So thanks for supporting my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.